Welcome back, Gameyaaad family. Thank you so much for joining us for another video. It's always a delight whenever you would have joined us here on Gameyaaad TV. We are truly appreciative of your support. Now, I have a serious matter I want to talk about. Please give a listening here to what I have to say, and also I would encourage you to share your comments down in the comments section as it relates to your take or your opinion on the matter. Now, the West Indies Championship would have ended yesterday, April 12th, and Guyana Harpy Eagles, they would have been the champion for 3 years now on the trot, or 3 years in a row, and that would be coupled with the 5 championships that they would have won between 2015 and 2019, and they would have finished on 126.6 points. They would have been 5.4 points ahead of Barbados Pride, right? Would have been second on the table. But there was a very interesting twist to that final game between Trinidad and Tobago Red Force and the Guyana Harpy Eagles. And this is what we want to talk about today, because 3 players from the Guyana Harpy Eagles, they were fined for breach of the code of conduct, the Cricket West Indies code of conduct, right? And I just want to say this up front: there seems to be never a dull moment when it comes on to West Indies cricket, and these are serious matters that we have to talk about. A lot of people shy away from these conversations, but it's something that is very serious, and that we need to voice our opinion here in the region as it relates to these breach of code of conduct. And we would have seen now a trend in West Indies cricket, and it's to be honest with you, it's a very embarrassing situation. We would have seen players being fined at the international level for behavioral misconduct. In recent times, we would have seen Alzari Joseph would have walked off the field in that series against Bangladesh. Jaden Seals, I believe, would have gotten some match fee fines, and if my memory serves me right, I think it was Kevin Sinclair also would have been fined for their match fees. And I mean, what is going on in West Indies cricket? Why are our players not behaving professionally at this level? So after this game between the Guyana Harpy Eagles, and the match would have ended in a draw between the Guyana Harpy Eagles and the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, right? And Cricket West Indies would have published an article or a press release subsequent to the match, right? And basically 3 players, Veerasammy Permaul, Kevlon and Ronaldo Alimohamed would have been fined, and we are going to look on each of the fines separately. So in the first case, Veerasammy Permaul was fined 75% of his match fee for a level 2 breach of the Cricket West Indies code of conduct on day 1 of the contest. The spinner breached Article 2.1 to 2.5, paragraph 3.8 of the Cricket West Indies code of conduct for players and player support personnel, which relates to changing the condition of the ball in breach of law 42.3, 41.3 of the laws of cricket. Now, so basically what Cricket West Indies is saying to us, that Veerasammy Permaul seek to change the the condition of the cricket ball. And my question is, what would have led Veerasammy Permaul to do this in the match? That's my first question. 2, is this a systemic issue with Guyana cricket and by extension cricket across the region? My third question is, the integrity of this championship is in question. The integrity of the whole championship. Could it be that this has been going on throughout the tournament, but it would have gone unnoticed? That's another question that lingers in my mind, right? To substantiate the point that I'm making as it relates to, could it be there is a systemic issue? Because we would have seen Veerasammy Permaul would have been, fined in the first innings. And when it comes to the second innings, when Trinidad and Tobago, they were batting, then Kevlon and this would have been charged for doing the same thing. Is it that these players, because it is so engraved in their cricket, that they could not help themselves in doing the same thing that somebody would have, gotten caught doing in the first match or in the first innings? What is going on with West Indies cricket? We can go back to the Super 50 Cup. The final did not play because of players having their own way. So these are issues that needs, immediate attention, and I suspect that Cricket West Indies will do a thorough investigation of the tournament and see whether or not there were other breaches. Because if we can use that 2018 incident between Australia, that test match between Australia and South Africa, when Bancroft would have been caught ball tampering, changing the condition of the ball with a piece of sandpaper, right? And I think the initial ban, the initial fine was the captain Steve Smith would have been awarded a match ban, while I think Bancroft was fined initially. But a thorough investigation would have been, done, and we would have seen. It would have been found out that David Warner was the mastermind behind it, and him and Steve Smith, they would have been banned for 1 year or 12 months, and Bancroft would have been banned for 9 months, because I suspect that Bancroft was a young player while they were the experienced players. So much would have been expected from Steve Smith and David Warner, right? Because Steve Smith was the leader of the team. Inevitably, he would have been drawn into the conversation, right? Because as a captain, you have to manage your players on and off the field, right? And so we would have seen where Steve Smith would have been, barred from leadership for, I think it was about 2 years, right? That's the decision taken by Cricket Australia. And David Warner was banned permanently from leadership role in Cricket Australia. Now, these are serious issues, and at the international level, we see how they have been dealt with. What is West Indies going to do about this incident here? In the coming days, we anticipate some other press release from Cricket West Indies on whether or not an investigation will be done, right? I am not here to condemn anyone, right? I believe that people need second chances, but the fact of the matter is there are rules, right? And players are expected to operate within the confines of those rules. And if there are breaches, then there are consequences to those breaches. One of the three breaches that really have me thinking was the one with Kevlon Anderson, because Veerasammy Permaul would have been fined in the first innings, right? Or would have been caught in the first innings for ball, tampering or changing the condition of the ball. And in the second innings, Kevlon Anderson would have been caught doing the same thing, right? And this one really troubles me because Kevlon Anderson is one of the standout players of this tournament. In fact, I have Kevlon Anderson to play in that West Indies A team between South Africa that's scheduled to start on June 8th of this year. I have Kevlon Anderson in that team, and I expected him to do well. He would have scored over 573 runs in the 7 rounds of this game or of this championship. He would have scored at an average of about 72 in this tournament. So he was really, really consistent in this tournament. And to see a youngster being, caught for, ball tampering, it's just embarrassing, to be honest with you. And so let me read what would have, West Indies would have said about Kevlon Anderson. Kevlon Anderson was fined 90% of his match fee for a similar offence on day 3 during the second innings of Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. Anderson accepted the sanction proposed by match referee. As such, there was no need for a formal hearing. According to law 41.3, players are not allowed to willful damage of the ball except in carrying out normal duties. Fielders may polish the ball with their clothing, provided no artificial substance is used and that only natural substance used is sweat. Cricket West Indies have not specified in what way Permaul and Anderson breached law 41.3. But having done some more research on the issue, I would have seen where it is alleged that the umpires would have seen substances that relates to sunscreen would have been on the ball in both instances, right? So the law says that only sweat can be used as any substance on the ball, right? So they would have been in breach of that, and I think they would have spoken to Imlach, and Imlach would have said that most of the players use sunscreen because they were in the sun, right? And that's a fair argument, but I'm not sure if that will hold up with the laws of cricket, right? The law explicitly state that only sweat can be used on the ball. As I said, I'm not here to condemn anyone. We are just seeking the facts as it relates to the incident and see how best we can navigate our way through this incident and ensure that it doesn't happen in the future. Now, the question that really lingers in my mind: will this incident cause Kevlon Anderson not to be selected for the West Indies A team? Please share your thoughts and comment down in the comment section as it relates to this issue, because this young man, he is on the verge, right, of making his international career, and this incident, I wouldn't say that it would permanently affect him, but in the near future, I'm certainly sure that it will affect him in some way, shape, or form. In fact, I'm not sure if he will be selected even for that 8th world, to be honest with you. As I said, we do not know what Veerasammy has in his mind, right, as it relates to the incident. But what we are here doing, trying to present the facts to you. And another question that comes into my mind is whether or not Imlach, as the standing captain, To be honest with you, Imla could have just played 2 tests for West Indies, but the fact that West Indies is in a crisis as it relates to a leader of the test team, then Imlak's name becomes very, very prominent in that argument, right? And so the fact that this would have happened, could it be that this would have, pushed Imlak aside, whether or not he, can lead West Indies now or no time in the future? That's a question that lingers in my mind as it relates to Kevin Imlak. And so we don't want to run to any conclusion here on Gameyaaad TV. We have to wait and see what Cricket West Indies will do as it relates to if there's any further investigation will be done, or the fines that they would have published, if those are the final decision on those incidents. So we'll have to wait and see what will transpire. And as it relates to Alimohamed, he was fined as well. His issue was more of misconduct. So Cricket West Indies would have released level 2 breach for Guyana pacer Ronaldo Alimohamed, who was found in breach of or violation of Article 2.1 to 2.5, paragraph 3.6 of the Code of Conduct. Throw the ball or any other items of cricket equipment, such as water bottles, at or near players or officials in an inappropriate or dangerous manner. Right, this is another behavioral issue. Right, Alimohamed need to control his emotions on the field, and so there are a lot of work need to be done as it relates to the professionality of our players. And even Alzari Joseph, who we would have been looking on as a future leader, having done that in that Bangladesh series is just tough to deal with. I'm not sure if he will be in the conversation for leadership of the West Indies team in the near future. But these are some issues that we are facing with here in the region, and hope that something will be done about it. Alright, so this is where I will leave it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button, turn on that push notification bell so that you can be notified when content would have been uploaded to this channel. Please share your comments as it relates to these issues that we would have shared in this video. Thanks for joining us. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Belo, belo, belo.